Buckle up. It's the Insurance Dudes podcast. So what we'll do here is we're going to continue the trend. For this week, we're going to interview Jorge Carbonell again on the Insurance Dudes. But we're going to be talking a lot about leads because Carbs has been diving deep in leads. He's been getting all deep and dirty in leads.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm so technical.
Yeah. It's fun.
Analyst.
You can so much.
It's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it is. You just keep going. There's so many numbers you can crunch. I'm a big metrics geek, so like I just track everything. So it's fun.
I love it.
I don't believe that Jorge ever did speed breakers.
Ooh.
I definitely did speed breakers. 100%.
He didn't do the new one, so let's just
100%. Oh, jeez.
He did the new one.
I knew he was trying to avoid it.
And I don't know if he knows the 80s trivia either.
That's even better.
Not even born in the 80s.
Did you ever see Back to the Future?
Yes.
Okay. That's good enough.
Do you know what Knight Rider is?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll skip that. Do you know who David Hasselhoff is?
Yes.
Okay. So I can go to the second.
So that you ask the questions so that you can ask the questions.
Sure. I need to diagnose need. Here we go. Have you ever had a mullet, Mr. Carbonell?
No, negative.
Really? You'd look really good with one. Jack or Jim?
Jack.
That was my choice back in the olden days. Most embarrassing thing your mom caught you doing for the second time?
No comment.
Okay. Ever jumped out of a plane?
No, I'm afraid of heights. Oh God,
yeah,
no.
The worst.
Can't
Best
even
dinosaur?
do roller coasters. Raptor.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that is the best one. Everybody defaults to T-Rex. And when we're in Vegas, I'm going to make you go on the New York roller coaster. Count Chocula or Count Dracula?
Dracula.
What year did Marty go back in time to?
I don't know.
And everybody
85?
on here, yes.
Seriously?
Everybody on here is a potential guest, so you can take notes and ace this thing.
Wait, did I seriously just get that right though?
It is 85, isn't it? It's
well,
85.
85 was the current year, and then he went back to
to 67
to the past.
Was it 67? 57.
No, 55. 30 years.
30 years. 30 years ago.
You don't have that. You don't have to know the answers to your own questions, by the way.
No. Why would you? What song was playing at the Enchantment Under the Sea when George and Lorraine first kissed?
No idea.
Earth Angel. Earth Angel. What kind of car was Kit? Oh, you don't know that one. Skip. And what country is
Was it a Camaro?
No, it was a Firebird. That's
dude, which is the same car.
It's the same car. I mean, one's a Pontiac.
So half right again. So that's like one total.
I'd call you half, maybe a quarter right. So we round down. What country is Hasselhoff huge in? And you have to say huge.
Capital U.
Is it like Australia or something? Or
that's a negative Ghost Rider. It is in
Germany.
Anyone? Okay.
Germany. Yeah.
Dogs or cats?
Yeah. I don't know how to respond to that.
Okay. Tacos or burritos?
Burritos.
Okay. What was the final villain in Ghostbusters?
Some big green thing. I don't know.
Not green. Big Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And
it looked like the Michelin Man?
Yeah, but of marshmallow.
Oh, okay.
And Trump or Biden?
Trump.
Oh, he says it.
I like it. It was quiet, but it was like almost a question. So I like that.
I don't know if he sneezed or.
Final question. What was the first movie that ever made you cry?
Oh, a new
Titanic.
one.
What part?
Oh,
the old lady dying?
When she let Jack drown.
Oh, yeah.
That's so sad.
It is sad.
It was.
It is sad.
He almost made it.
He almost made it.
I think we did your history in 1 minute or less. Drop Titanic to where you are now in 1 minute.
Jason's going to be singing the song from Tight
60 seconds or left or less. So college grad, no idea what I'm doing in my life. Start with in claims, go into product, go into leadership, go into sales management, start opening up agencies for other agents and quit. And now I have my own agency.
Bada bing, bada boom.
18 seconds. Perfect.
Why'd you decide to do that? Why'd you decide to become an agent?
Well, in my previous role, I was helping other people kind of achieve their dreams. And I just kind of noticed that the opportunity. So that was one piece. And I'm very self-driven. So it was just, why don't you just do this for yourself? And I just enjoy building teams and driving and just knocking things out of the park. So doing it for myself and my team. That's the big thing. Right now, I'm doing it for myself and my family, but I also have a team of people here that I feel I want them to be successful, right? And it's awesome to see them reach their personal goals. So it's a good feeling to see that.
To go to coach instead of player. It's interesting
Right.
to use baseball analogies because you were a football player in college.
Yeah, absolutely.
Running back.
No.
Linebacker.
Yes.
Yeah. The opposite.
Yeah.
The one tackling. Football is a sport, Jason.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about leads today because you're a data guy and you do a lot of spreadsheets. So when you first started, and I know we kind of got in this before, again, 60 seconds or less, we'll just go through this. But when you first started, what were you buying for leads and what has changed and what have you learned in that process?
So for me, and when I'm dealing with a lead company, I'm looking for somebody that's not going to like try to take advantage of the agency. When I first started, I got definitely taken advantage of. Like they're like, oh yeah, we're going to help you out. We're going to give you the best deal in the world. And I'm paying $12 for a lead. And, not knowing anything, it's like, oh, great. This guy just hooked me up or this girl just hooked me up and we're going to crush it. And then you start to see that I'm doing the numbers and I'm getting like $600, $700, $800 cost per sale. And I'm looking at the numbers again. And I'm like, this cannot be sustainable. There's got to be people that are getting better deals in this. So that's one, just making sure that you're working with a lead company that's transparent and helping you out as much as possible. And they want you to be successful because if you're successful, then they're successful. Right. So it went down to like just doing my research, just putting the lead companies up against each other, saying like, hey, now what's the best deals you can give me? Make sure you got the right filters, make sure you can take care of the zips. And at this point, it's making sure they can meet the volumes that we need to be successful as an agency. So that's another big thing. And especially with teledudes, obviously we're kind of in a meeting where everybody in this elite group is using the program. It's again, going back to volume and the right lead price and in combination with the activity that's going to get you the best cost per sale, right? What's going to give you the best contact rate as well.
Right.
So when you first go into buying leads now, what are some of the things you're looking for and how are you approaching it with your team?
Well, for my team, every lead's premium lead, best leads in the world. Take them and crush them. Anytime we get a transfer from one of our Dudettes, it's a live human being. It's then a great opportunity to take care of a prospect or a family. And in terms of what we're looking for, as far as the leads that we're getting, we're looking at contact rate. So obviously there's going to be, like we get a lot of leads a day. We get 200 plus leads a day. Like there's going to be some junk in there. Like I get that. But overall, I'm looking at the whole system all together. What is the overall contact percentage and overall what's the cost per sale for all the leads that I've purchased? I don't get too hung up on one lead that says, what is it, Matt Hasselhoff? I only got one lead that says it's called Hasselhoff and lose it. I know that overall that I'm going to get a good return on it. And that's what I'm looking for is consistency.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Not Matt. When we first launched Teledudes and people were coming to us before there was a community, before there was Elite Dudes, before all this stuff all the other stuff that's in there, the PPC, you came in, I think you started with 8. I can't remember. Was it 8? 5. Okay. You started with 5. And then like after a week or 2, you were like, okay, I want more. And then all of a sudden, well, now you're at 10 or 12. I can't remember, but we usually kind of recommend baby steps because it's a big spend and it could be challenging to watch that go out and wait for the results to happen. So how were you able to manage your emotions at the beginning when you first dove in? And why did you decide to do that?
For me, it was pretty easy. So it's super hard to find good people, right? The people and staff are so integral to your success. I always say it's people in marketing. So on the people side, you want them to be successful, right? If they're successful, again, going back to it, your agency is successful. And it's super easy to really burn them out if you're buying a bunch of leads and you're having them make 200, 300, 400, 500 dials a day. So you're going to get burnout, right? And you're also it's just an inefficient way for them to spend their time. Like, why are they going to spend their time dialing when they can spend their time talking to people? So I see when you guys started this program, I was like, this is great. It's like just kind of seeing the light. Like these telemarketers, right? They're just an extension of my team. Like when I talk to them, I don't even say like telemarketers. Like it's just like, you're a team member, right? You're a lead generator, you're a team member, you're a caller. I never even used the word telemarketer with them, honestly. Yeah, they're great. And I think now I think 1-to-1's a very good sweet spot. And I think we're at 2-to-1 at this point. They're just constantly talking to people.
You got to just have them dialing.
Mm-hmm.
So with the lead volume, I mean, how have you figured out how to manage lead volume, the ups and downs of gaining staff? I know you went through a staff change at one point. How are you managing leads throughout all that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been as little as like when we first started out, as little as 100 leads a day, all the way up to 300 leads a day. And we've tailored it back to 200 just because we have such a large bank of leads. Like it's just the lead is an asset in itself that you continue to call on. It's kind of that buy or die mentality, right? We're going to get you at one point, we scrub them and we make sure they're compliant, all that good stuff. But we can consistently follow up with these folks. So yeah.
Do you have the analytics on what the oldest lead you have that closed?
We just closed one from 9 months ago yesterday.
How many dials did you look at how many dials were on it?
I think it was like 50 something, but again, we have it go through the first 90 days. And then I have a kind of a requote campaign that goes through DNC scrubber, right? And I have that set up on a separate campaign, really low priority.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. It's just like little touch points. And like anything that we win on those, like it's awesome.
I think that's interesting. You bring up that part of it. You had the 1-to-1 and now you have 2-to-1. I'm about 2-to-1. I figure I'd rather have more activity on the front and less producers who are writing more business each. My top one wrote 60. So it's just when you see one can do 60, then the rest see that and eventually they'll get there. So just feed them. And you pay less by having one write 60 than two write 30, right? So I'd rather have one write 60. But I think it's interesting when you fill up that pipeline and you have so many leads in the system. I know Jason has 1 trillion leads in there and you've got 1 million leads in there now. You almost need the extra group of callers to be able to hit those old leads too. Right. So and they flip. I mean, I've talked about, we had a one that was over 90 dials on it, probably some other ones. I haven't looked at all of them. How important is that to you?
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on because especially on the front end, because I know we have very particular cadences in the group that we share and stuff to make sure that we're hitting them enough times. And we're reaching out to these prospects so frequently that as that bank builds up, they sometimes rarely get to that 45, 60, 90-day mark and they don't get as hit as much. So you can add another telemarketer, right? And it's going to really start to help you with getting into the back end of leads closer to that 90-day period when guess what? Nobody else is calling them at that point, right? Everybody quits after the first 2 calls and say this lead sucks.
Right. Such a huge advantage.
It's funny how like when you start filling the pipeline, it's hard to explain what happens 6 months to 1 year later because they are making those follow-up phone calls and you're constantly selling leads that are older and those are supplementing the new leads. So if you can find the balance of the old and the new, all of a sudden your cost per policy, it really is like a machine that has to kind of go the distance to really squeeze all the juice out. At what point were you nervous and thought like, what other things have you tried and what do you look at on a daily basis to make sure you're on the right track?
Quote volume, so quoted households. So I track the amount of, so with the company, there's folks that are qualified and not qualified, et cetera. So we look at that pretty closely, making sure we're talking to quality prospects. It happens, I would say probably 30, 40% of the people we speak to don't even qualify. So we actually don't count that as a quote. And then we want to make sure that each agent is quoting at least 8 to 10 households per day. So that's super important. And I think that's going to get them to that 40,000 in premium or plus, at least in our state, with how good my sales team is at this point. Similar to like what Craig was saying, like I used to have 9 people, but we have 5 salespeople that are doing better than 9. So I'll take that all day.
Well, and they improve over time, right? Your salespeople get used to those transfers and how to handle them because you're training them. And it just takes time.
Yeah. What was another question you had there, Jason? That was like a 2-3-part question.
Yeah. No, I think you're good. You know what I'd really like to do is I'd like to keep this conversation centered around leads and buying. And I'd like to open it up to everybody that's on the call. So if we could do a little raise of the hand and then we'll unmute you. And then you can ask George a question on leads.
Okay. I'm going to tentatively. Okay. Tom, you better be good. Ready?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes.
Got it.
What's up, Tom?
Welcome to the Insurance Dudes.
Yeah.
Tom Burks.
So I've been taking tons of notes, learning everything I can. We're still not exactly where we need to be. So just to confirm, I think you guys had said, and George, I wanted to get your take on it, that really you're looking for 5 or more live quoted transfers per TM per day. Is that correct?
I'm not getting that now.
Yeah, I'm getting more 3 to 4, but that's where I set the goal. Absolutely. That's where I want them to. So like when I'm communicating to my telemarketing manager and I communicate with them honestly more throughout the day than I do with my sales team. Cause I know like if they're doing well, my team's going to do well. So I focus a lot on that, but yeah, I push them hard to get, and then we could do incentives. I'm sure you're familiar with that. We could do incentives to help them. They're just like salespeople, but yeah.
If you're not getting those numbers, that's my follow-up question. Is to dissect or diagnose where you need to apply some coaching or some training. Obviously, I would imagine you look at contact rate. And if so, what contact rate, what live transfer rate are you looking at as example? So if you have a contact rate of 30% on a lead source and your contacted transfer rate's 3%, is that what you're looking for? Or what specific number would you be looking for to determine what you need to do to train them better?
To be continue.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to do write 100,000 in premium off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes. It's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now. live.teledudes.com.
live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All right.